Well, hello. I see you survived the journey. Come in, come in. I have some sage and wildberry tea fresh and waiting for you. It has been quite some time since I've seen your face. Now what brings you to this old wizard's tower?
Oh, hey guys, welcome back. Didn't mean to startle you, but I just had a little something stuck in my throat. Sorry about that. Unfortunately, this is my last upload for the week. However, I will be back on Monday. Now in today's video, we will be delving into r/thathappened. Stories that are painfully, obviously fake. Some of which are so cringy, you're going to need to cast a spell of protection just to avoid cringing out too hard. So grab your spell books, and let's dive in.
Back in like 2006, me and my sister were at a Britney Spears concert. We were massive fans, we're obviously excited AF to see her perform. About half an hour into the show, there was a break so people could go to the bathroom, get a drink, etc. And I really needed to pee, so off I went to look for the bathroom. I must have been wandering around for nearly 5 minutes, and I was freaking out because I thought I was gonna miss her coming back on stage. I wandered around more, and then suddenly found myself backstage. And before I could turn back, some guy grabbed my arm and started saying it was time for me to go back on stage and do the next song, and asking why I wasn't in the correct costume. Did this dude legit think I was Britney? Apparently he effing did. Before I could even say anything, I was being put into this latex corset thingy and boots and crap and being shoved on stage. Stage fright would have gotten the best of me. The last thing I wanted is to look like a complete freak on stage in front of like 5,000 people. So I just did what my heart told me and started singing "You Drive Me Crazy" like I was singing and dancing for my life. To my surprise, everyone just went along with it, presumably believing I was Britney. I mean, I was blonde, but that was about it, haha. I finished the song and dance routine, being rewarded with thunderous applause. Then Britney herself just suddenly walked on stage, and the crowd went silent, expecting a catfight to break out, I guess. Although, I'll have to admit, the look on everyone's faces was priceless, haha. But no, instead the music started up again, and Brit started signaling at me to continue with her, and we ended up dancing and singing together. It was literally the best night of my effing life, and I wish I could relive it over and over again.
Not gonna lie, this is definitely me when I go to a Britney Spears concert. I mean, it's just so easy to wander around at a concert and end up backstage, and then getting mistaken for the performer. Oh, that happens to me all the time. Oh, I noticed you're wearing shoes and you have eyeballs, so clearly you must be John Mayer. Hurry, go, get on stage, what are you doing, you're late. So that one for sure happened.
LOL, I've memorized this song and you cannot believe what happened to me today. I was in the English class. English is not my mother language. And on the board were new words from the text that previous class did, and one of those words was pie. And teacher just wrote 3.14. I came to the board and started writing numbers all the way to the 100th number. And then I turned around and everyone was just staring at me, and the teacher too. And then she asked, "How did you do that?" And I said, "I've remembered the song." And then I sung it to her and everyone in the class. And then she started smiling and said, "Congrats." And everyone started clapping. I just have to say, thank you guys for making this song.
That's pretty believable. But you know, I'm sure what happened next is that the whole school burst into song and dance, praising him as the master of irrational numbers. Quit anime 6 months ago. Bought a new car, I have an amazing girlfriend, I make a crap load of money, and I'm buying a house this spring. I party every weekend, I'm never home, I'm enjoying life. Do yourselves a favor, stop trying to make watching anime cool. It's cringe as duck. Yes, because if you quit watching anime, all of your problems will go away. And no, it's not cringy. It is cool. You know what is cringy though? Your fake story, mister.
My nephew, when age 2, told us about when he was a fighting man in Botswana. We gave him a globe and he pointed at it. I lived there.
Sure, alrighty then.
It's always different with crackheads. 15 years ago, I dated a girl who lived at Jane Finch in Toronto. Crackhead Central at night back then. And a crackhead tried to mug me with a plastic knife. I pushed him away with one hand, and he went down hard and cracked his head. I felt bad enough that I dropped a $5 bill on him.
Sounds like a supervillain origin.
I used to be an ordinary crackhead, till one day I cracked my head.
It's called jeffing with the guards. I'm sure it hasn't been easy for him. The other prisoners hate it, and this guy is right. I acted the same way. When I was 15, I manipulated a guard into taking me home. Sure, it was just youth authority, but I believe it counts. Oh yes, by all means. I'm sure that when you were 15 you were able to manipulate a prison guard into taking you home. Don't you know? It's called jeffing.
Can I just say something real quick to you females? Act like women and not sleuths, please. Please don't send me unwanted nudies. Please do not go asking for my phone number if I ignored you when you asked. Please do not flip out on me when I do not answer your repeated messages, calls, or Snapchats. Please do not go around asking where I live if I didn't give you my address. Please do not confuse my small talk as flirting or me wanting you. If I said I wasn't interested in you, then please stop trying to get my attention. Not trying to down anybody, but have some respect for yourself and me. Act less like desperate psychos and more like women, please.
Is this a joke? Is this guy real? What planet did this guy say he was from again? I'm quite confused.
So I got pulled over today, and the officer asked me why I was speeding and swerving. I told him straight up that I was just trying to eat my Allsup's burrito. He dead-a looked me in the eye and said, "If you give me the burrito, I'll let you go." Guess who got a ticket? Oh, this guy. Oh.
I listened to this in church and wear my concert shirt. The pastor did devil horns and pointed at me, then yelled that this kid listens to good music. Even God can hate it because of how good it is. On today's edition of Crap That Never Happened. Go shove a cactus up your butt.
Halfway through the reception, bridesmaid and I ditch and go get sushi. We are both pretty drunk. Before our food gets there, she vomits all over the floor of the restaurant. A man at the table overruns out of the restaurant. Several other people leave. The man's wife is the only one left near us. Laughing, she pays for our sushi, and then breaks something under the bridesmaid's nose. Apparently she is a doctor, and this stuff is to keep bridesmaids from puking anymore. Awesome! We are ready to party more. Doctor calls us a cab, and lovingly packs us into it. We get back, and the rest of the guests are inside playing Minecraft. Bridesmaid and I go downstairs and screw on the couch. The marriage didn't last long enough to turn in the paperwork.
Oh wow, this is so believable. They should turn this into a BuzzFeed video.
When I moved from California to Canada, they said I had to go to the second year of kindergarten instead of first grade. My father couldn't accept that, so insisted on a meeting that included me and a bunch of adults. One of the first things they did was ask me to go to the blackboard and write the longest word I knew. I sat there for a while trying to count up to see if astigmatism or rheumatism were longer. I was very nervous, but then I decided to write rheumatism because it was less phonetic. They let me in the first grade.
Oh yes, I'm convinced that your vocabulary as a first grader was so complex and diverse. Back in my day, those words didn't even exist.
I asked my dad if I had ever made him cry in front of me before, because I don't remember ever seeing him cry. He said, once. He told me that when I was 3 years old, he laid out a pen, a dollar, and a toy of some sort in front of me. He wanted to see which one I would pick. I think that a lot of Chinese people do that. It represents what you'll value most when you grow up. Like the pen is intelligence, money as well, money, and the toy is fun. He was just doing it out of curiosity and boredom. It was interesting for him to see which one I'd pick anyway. He said that I just sat there and stared at the items. He sat across from me and waited patiently. According to him, I crawled towards them, he held his breath, and I pushed everything aside and went right into his arms. He didn't realize that he was one of the choices, and that was the first and the only time I made him cry.
Oh god, it's so heartwarming. Oh my gosh, I can't believe something that cute could actually exist in this world. Oh my gosh, I'm tearing up at how cute and fake that was. So my son's teacher had to tell me this story. For reference, he is in 2nd grade, working on scatter plots. Teacher: okay, so if x equals 3 and y equals 6, where does the dot go? My son: well, that depends. What's the z? Other kid in the class: Snickers. Pfft, you're stupid, there is no z. Teacher: well, right now we are working in 2 dimensions, not 3. Other kid: there's a 3rd dimension? Teacher: ... My son: technically there's a 4th too. Teacher: we are in 2nd grade, we are not going to start on theoretical physics. Other kid: what's Don't worry about it, we'll figure out 2D first. My dad plays in the 3rd. My son got a treasure box for this conversation. Ah yes, your son, the great theoretical physicist prodigy. I do not believe we've met. Do Do you have a moment to talk about scatter plots? Oh, what's that? You actually don't know anything about theoretical physics? I'm sorry, I must have the wrong guy. Ah yes, these were good and cringy indeed. And sadly, we have run out of time. It is now safe to remove your protective wards, and it appears that we've all returned safely. So if you guys liked this video, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching and spending some time with me. And as always, don't forget your tea before you go.